Hey, what's up, everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. It is that time of the month, time to talk about my favorite albums that were released this past month, July 2025. Before I get into that, I do just want to do a quick tribute, pay my respects to the fallen godfather of heavy metal, the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne, who sadly passed away earlier this month. I had a feeling after the Sabbath and Ozzy farewell show that he had just been holding on to make it through that show, and I'm so glad that he got to do that, and he passed away peacefully this month. And yeah, everyone that is a metalhead owes a debt of respect to Ozzy Osbourne. I have to say, in my formative years as a metalhead, in my younger days, I don't know if there was one person who had a bigger impact on my musical taste than Ozzy Osbourne by listening to early Black Sabbath, and then his solo career started expanding and getting into more extreme stuff after that. But I gotta give respect where respect is due and just pay tribute to this fallen hero. Your legacy will live on forever, Ozzy. What more can I say? Rest in power. But now let's get to my favorite albums of the month. This was a little bit of a slower month. I maybe didn't check out as much stuff, but I still got 15 solid records that you should go check out. I did listen to more than these 15, but a handful of them I just thought were okay, so I didn't really include those here. I'm sure I've missed a ton as well, as I usually do. So as usual, I want your recommendations down below. Let me know which albums I definitely need to go check out, which ones I maybe have missed. I'm always looking to explore more stuff, and hopefully this list can give you some new stuff to explore. So here we go, kicking off my list today. Going with Crimson Shadows and their new album, Whispers of War. This is a Canadian band that plays a unique blend of like mellow death and power metal. It's just the blend of these like epic, clean vocals with the mellow death screaming. It's got really nice guitar work and solos. This is their first album in a very long time, in about 11 years. I actually had the pleasure of seeing them live earlier this year when me and my wife went out to Vancouver. We caught Hyperspace Metal Festival, which was headlined by Enforcer, but Crimson Shadows opened up the night. And on a little side note, fun fact, when I used to play in a band, my band opened for Crimson Shadows back in I think it was 2012 or 2013. So I know a couple of these guys briefly, anyways, from many moons ago. But yeah, cool guys, and put out a pretty decent album. Go check out Crimson Shadows if you have not heard them before. Up next, Ashes of Ayres with their new album, New Messiahs. So this is some power metal from the USA. Matt Barlow from Iced Earth is on lead vocals here. He still got it. He's still bringing his trademark pipes to the table. I will say this album, it's got pretty muddy production that doesn't really do the album any favors, to be honest, so it kind of holds it back a bit. I think it's still okay, but I don't necessarily think it's one that I'm going to be going back to a ton. But I love that I am getting new music with Matt Barlow singing, because that brings me back to my youth when I listened to a ton of Iced Earth, and so it's just a pleasure to hear him singing on a new record. So if that interests you, go listen to Ashes of Ayres. Up next, going to switch to some black metal with Imperial, Crystalline, Entombment, or I.C.E, with their new album, Abominable Astral Summoning. So this is some US black metal, actually features the ex-vocalist of Monstrosity on vocals here, but you hear that and it doesn't sound the same. These aren't death metal vocals, this is black metal vocals here. Think like early Immortal or Marduk, just like that aggressive, relentless form of black metal, just fury throughout, but it's also a lot of fun. They're not taking it too seriously. It's just a relentless black metal assault, but it's pretty fun stuff. Go check out I.C.E if you haven't. Up next, some death metal with Disembodiment and their album Spiral Crypts. So this is some more Canadian content here, some old school death metal from Quebec. This album cover here should tell you exactly what you need to know, give you a pretty good indication of the style of death metal that they are playing here. This is very cavernous, murky death metal. Think a band like Incantation, or even for a newer example, think like Outretom from Quebec. Similar style, or in the same vein at least, but all in all, a very solid debut album. Up next, going with Jeall and the album A Forlorn Dawn. So this is some melodic, epic black metal from Argentina. Another one where probably just from looking at that album art, you can tell right away what kind of music you are in store for. And yes, that album art very much told me what I was in store for, and this is the style of black metal that I very much enjoy. This is a very solid album from start to finish. It's just really well done stuff. So if you're into this style of black metal, go check this one out. All right, now we are into the top 10, my 10 favorite albums from the month. So in 10th place, some more death metal, this time from Ireland with Abyssery and their album Interminable End. So this one just sounds like a descent into the abyss. You check out another great album art here by Adam Burke, who always does amazing album arts. There's a ton of great album arts this month. Still some more to come. Yeah, this one just came out this last Friday, so I haven't spent a ton of time with this yet. This definitely has potential to rise even higher on my list. I need to spend a lot more time with it, but on the first few spins, I am definitely enjoying it quite a bit. So go dive into the abyss with Abyssery. In 9th, go with Eminentia Tenebris with Whispers of the Undying. So this is some French atmospheric melodic black metal. Features one of the guys from Ontar Vivant, another great band. Another one with amazing album art. Like, come on. Like, these album covers this month are just blowing me away. This one, if you're a fan of things, like, how can I describe this? Just, yeah, very melodic, but without being too over-the-top melodic. It still brings in that atmosphere, but it's really the focus is on just these really great riffs that just have that keen sense of melody. I had featured their previous album on an album of the month. I think that was probably a couple years ago, sometime in 2023. But honestly, I think this one is even better than their previous album. So if you've heard them before, definitely go check out this new album. If you haven't heard them, now's the time to start. Up next, we're going to stick with black metal with Sarastus and album Agony Eternal. So this time we are going to Finland. They really bring in some unique vocal approaches here with very varied songwriting and even varied vocals from song to song. It's not always sung in the same style. It's a very evil sounding album all in all. If you're a fan of Finnish black metal at all, definitely go check this one out. This is my first experience listening to this band. I'm not familiar with their past albums at all, but based on this album alone, I'm definitely going to be going back and exploring their back catalog because this one is a solid album that you should definitely go check out. Sticking with black metal once again, don't worry, it's not going to be all black metal, but I got a few more in here as well. In 7th, going with Abigail Williams and the new album A Void Within Existence. So I'm calling them black metal because that's what they play now, but you'll go back and listen to their early career, and it was very much like metalcore with some different elements in there. So it's a far cry from what they used to put out, but their last few albums have been more in the black metal vein, and this is a very strong album. I actually had the pleasure of seeing them live last year. They opened for Rotting Christ when they came through town. It was a very good concert. I think this is one of their best albums they've put out to date. It's very emotional and haunting with the atmosphere and just with the songwriting. All in all, a very good black metal album. Abigail Williams. Up next in 6th, Weald and Wo with their album Far From the Light of Heaven. So this is some melodic medieval black metal from the USA. This really is reminiscent of a band like I.C.E. or Darkenhold. It's got that medieval atmosphere and very melodic style of riffing, which I enjoy very much. Like, I'm a huge fan of I.C.E. I don't know as this quite hits the peaks of that. There's a few drawbacks here where maybe some of the songs sound kind of samey and the vocals are a tad like one note, if you will, but I don't want to sound too negative because I'm also enjoying this album quite a bit. So I'm just offering some criticism while still giving it praise at the same time. Overall, it's still a very enjoyable album. The previous one was great, and this one kind of just follows in that one's footsteps. A solid album, just missed out on my top 5. All right, now we're going to get into my top 5 favorite albums of the month. And it's a little bit of a surprise. I got a few death metal albums in here. I usually have a few death metal albums in like my albums of the month, but I've got 3 in my top 5, and these 3 are all very unique and different, and that's what made them stand out. And we're going to get to one of those right now. In 5th place, Empireza with their new album Alcazares. So this is death metal with some touches of flamenco. So that sounds very interesting. It's just an odd combo, but they really make it work very well. It's, yeah, maybe a weird approach, but I'm really enjoying it quite a bit, and it really helps it stand out from the crowd of too many maybe similar sounding death metal albums. This one does not really sound like too much else that's out there. This is my first time hearing this band as well, and I'm definitely going to go explore their back catalog. Very proficient musicianship on display here, and it's just really cool that it implements these different blends of styles to have flamenco music but then raging death metal, and they make it work. It's got weird time signature changes. Just all in all, a very interesting album worth checking out. Up next in fourth, we're going to switch it from death metal for a second with Burden of Ymir and the new album The Long Winter. So this is some blackened folk Viking metal from Canada. This is a one-man band. I would say for fans of bands like Windir or Forefather or Falkenbach, some elements of that style anyways, especially more on the Windir side of things, at least in the riff writing. Maybe it doesn't have the same level of melodicism overall, but I hear some similarities to Windir's style here with the harsh black metal rasps over top of this melodic, folky black metal riffing. I'm always a fan of this style of black metal. Maybe this album's not revolutionary or groundbreaking in any way, not something that you haven't really heard before, but it's a solid album and I enjoy it, and that's why I have it in fourth place. All right, let's get weird with it again. In third place, Floating with their new album Hesitating Lights. This is some progressive death metal mixed with post-punk. A description that when I first read was that's not going to be for me, but I'm curious. I'll give it a listen. I'll always try anything. And I was very pleasantly surprised that this album really stood out to me this month. It's really unique and enjoyable from start to finish. Yes, you've got the elements of death metal and then some post-punk leanings, and it just adds a different flair to this album. It's like nothing I've really heard before. And it doesn't sound like something that I would normally be drawn to at all. But like I said, I've been very pleasantly surprised with this. Maybe I need to branch out and try some different things that I'm not used to, because I'm finding some good stuff this month. And yeah, I'm digging this album a lot. If anything there sounds like it might be up your alley, go give it a listen. And even give it a listen if it doesn't sound like it's up your alley, because I definitely didn't think it was going to be for me when the description says post-punk. But I enjoy it quite a bit, so go check out Floating. Up next in second, my favorite death metal album of the month, Haxprocess, with their new album Beyond What Eyes Can See. So some progressive death metal from the USA. I would describe their sound as kind of like some elements of old school Morbid Angel meets some of the thrashy technicality of a band like Atheist with maybe a touch of a modern band like Blood Incantation, all thrown together. But when I say that, yes, it's got very proggy elements, but it doesn't go too far into pure wankery. There's still crushing it with the death metal riffs, and it's got really interesting song constructions and riffs on display here. I just absolutely love this style. There's long, drawn-out songs. I think it's 4 tracks that are each over 10 minutes, but it's just engaging throughout. It doesn't feel long. The songs don't feel long, and the album doesn't feel long, and I just love the style that they're playing here. They really knocked it out of the park with this one. An absolutely killer death metal album, Haxprocess. But that just leaves one. My favorite album of the month is something that arguably might not even be considered heavy metal, but I'm putting it here anyways, and I think there's enough here for metal fans to like, and I'm talking about Phantom Spell with their new album, Heather and Hearth. So this is a one-man band from the UK. The man behind the band is from Seven Sisters, who released an absolutely outstanding album earlier this year, one of my favorites of the year, and now he's come and done it once again with another absolutely outstanding album, but it shifts the style here a little bit, where Seven Sisters is more twin guitar attack of new wave of British heavy metal with some progressive elements. This is 70s prog rock, still with those twin guitar melodies, but it's way more into the 70s prog rock style. Think bands like Wishbone Ash or Uriah Heep, with still that dose of his guitar playing where he just knows how to write these killer leads and melodies And this album, it goes so many different directions with some of those progressive elements, like the opening track here, the Autumn Citadel. That song is just stuck in my head. It's got some unique touches and flair to it. And these choruses are just ingrained in my head. Like, he knows how to write a catchy chorus, whether it's in Seven Sisters or in Phantom Spell. Like, man, this guy is absolutely killing it. This is a proggy and epic album. Even if you're not into 70s prog rock, go check this out. There's enough great guitar work here and catchy choruses that I think you're going to fall in love with it. I absolutely love the retro vibe here. It's executed flawlessly. And yeah, easily my favorite of the month by a mile here. I'm listening to this one nonstop. Go check out Phantom Spell if you haven't. It might just blow you away, even if it's something that you wouldn't normally listen to. But maybe you do like it. I don't know. I'm getting off track here. Just go listen to it. Make up your own opinions. It's a goddamn great album. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so those are my picks for the month. Let me know what you think of them and give me your picks down below. And until next time, Hammer Heart Metal Reviews.